going to talk about the Turkish Lira today, what's been happening this week. I'm going to try to keep it brief and accurate, and a few remedies. Now, leading up to this week, obviously we all know that there is a matter of missing central bank reserves. Now, the number that's out there is 128 billion. What I saw was, of that approximately $130 billion, about 40 to 50 of it was actually sold to the market through the state banks to fill the need, to fill the demand for the dollars, because banks aren't taking positions. Central bank has to do all that work. Retail savings holders are about 60% in foreign currency, so they're heavily invested in foreign currencies, and the exchange rate is not enough to make them switch over to the other side. What happened to the rest? I'm not sure, but I know it's not. I know it's not cheap financing an ongoing war in Syria, moving troops to Libya, having your navy in the Mediterranean, military in Azerbaijan. You have money invested in looking for gas and oil in the region. All these things take money, plus an incredible police force that eats up a lot. President's own security, that eats up a lot. And what we're seeing lately is the religious faction is also taking their share of that money. So basically, when we bring it down to this week, they don't have any money left to sell to the market. There's always a natural demand for foreign currency in Turkey, as even there's a lot of intermediate goods, a lot of intermediate imported goods on all items used and produced in Turkey, aside the fact that we're net importers of just about everything, including energy, food, you name it, automobiles. So they're out of money, so the state banks aren't selling. Retail holders aren't switching over to Turkish Lira. Banks aren't taking any positions. So with little demand, we're seeing volatile movements, and we're seeing jumps in the price, and people are calling it a devaluation. I guess it is a devaluation. What's a devaluation? It's a rapid decrease in asset price. Well, it's decreasing and it's been rapid. So what's the situation now going forward? Well, there's elections coming up next year, June, scheduled. So not 2022, not next year, but 2023 of June. I don't think the economy could take that kind of a beating for that long. Unemployment's at around 50%, inflation's at around 50%. Meanwhile, interest rates are at 15, 16%, and the government's talking about further easing their new approach to Econ 101. What the country needs, but before I get there, I just want to give a little on demographics. The ruling party and their partner, their total votes are somewhere around today, on November 24th, 2021. I'm thinking somewhere around the 35% region. The much more divided votes on the other side of the spectrum, if they pull their together and they come up with the right candidate when the time comes, well, you're looking at 42%. So that said, I think the government's aware of what the polls are showing recently, and well, they're not stupid, obviously. They know that a devalued lira and high inflation is always a good buy for the ruling government. And that's the way it has been for the last 50 years in Turkey. What we need, well, what would be ideal is an announcement that elections are declared early, so maybe June of next year, 2022. And a change in government, meaning the other side of the spectrum, in the form of a coalition, they come and they give us from day one an IMF friendly, US friendly, EU and reform friendly package in front of us. Show us that they can reestablish the legal system and give us transparency to government books, which is the right of the people, actually, but that's sometimes forgotten in monarchies. That's all it's going to take, basically, to bring down what's today closing at 12.3, yesterday saw 13.5, was 9.5 a week ago. I'm talking Turkish Lira to the dollar. This government may turn around and find that they might be able to, or they might think that they might be able to fool the people and fool the market and start talking about IMF, even though they've openly stood against it since day one, since 20 years ago. So, assuming that they found a face-saving way, and they even muttered the words IMF. IMF has a lot on its plate, and I'm not sure the other members of IMF are going to even agree to giving Turkey any type of cheap funding purely for, well, not purely for, there are a lot of reasons. Human rights violations, lack of a legal system, jailed journalists, jailed military personnel, unwarranted surveillance, unaccounted for tax money. I'm not even counting weapons being bought from Russia or money laundering from Iran through state banks. That's all it's going to take is for a change of government and for the new government to be IMF and US friendly and EU friendly and reform friendly and kind of bring back to where we were back in the 90s, actually. The last 20 years is, I'm considering lost time for Turkey. A black spot in its history. That's the solution. Corruption and bad management has led to a scarcity of foreign exchange in the country. The only solution is early elections, an IMF and US friendly government, and the market will come back down, right back down, first immediately to I'm thinking anywhere between 8.5 to 9 region. And if the interest rates are managed properly and a real return is guaranteed to fixed income investors as well, then maybe we're looking at an inflow of anywhere between 10 and 15 billion US dollars coming in within 2 to 3 months after elections and after the change. Well, that's my 2 cents on the situation. I thought it was important that we cover this area. Please stay tuned to the channel for more on what's going on that's relevant. Thank you.